This is low key, maybe the most important exercise you're gonna do. In my work, I have just noticed an abundance of lack of ability and control in the abs where there should be no problem doing some of these things. So before we get to the post and the tuck work, what should you be able to do? Ideally, in this position, I can lift my head up. For most people, that's a piece of cake. I lift my shoulders up, not too big of a deal, and I lift my hips up. That little subtle motion is me contracting my pelvis to my rib cage, and it is very difficult, if not impossible, for most people. So how can we put this together and get good adaptation without that ability just hanging out on the floor? I'm gonna grab a post, I'm gonna grab a doorway, I'm gonna grab a heavy weight, anything will do. And the first order of business is just get my hips off the ground. So this is level one. Any old way, my hips come off the ground. My feet can be anywhere. The goal is I create this space. I now have that shortening, okay? From there, I wanna lengthen the lever. To lengthen the lever, it's very simple. All I do is put my feet down. This is going to basically take the weight from about here to down here. This places more stress on my abs. From there, I'm gonna lower everything down until I have just a bit of clearance. I haven't lost it, but I'm getting away from having to be all tucked up into this space to make this work. So I'm about here. This is, let's say, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 4 inches off the ground, and I'm gonna begin straightening my legs. Again, increasing that lever. At first, they're gonna be straight up in the air, that's totally fine. In time, progressively working lower and lower and lower, and you'll notice my hips are staying off the ground the whole time. My abs are working like crazy to keep that space alive. This is very demanding and taxing. So your first order of business is going to be just accumulating time here so that your abs get used to hanging out in that space. Ultimately, I want you to be able to hang out in this position and then add tension without that lever. Even though this looks relatively straightforward, it is nearly impossible for most people, but I believe you can get there and I want you to get there.